Hello, good evening and welcome to Business here on Joy News Prime with me, Beverly Broom. Researcher and banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ituahene has expressed that there is no evidence indicating that rating agencies S&P, Moody's and Fitch have been reckless in downgrading the Ghanaian economy in the past 11 years. Speaking to Joy Business, he argued that a careful analysis of the methodologies used by the rating agencies for Ghana is the same used for developed countries like the United Kingdom.
I've received positive rating over the past 16 years. That has even enabled us to borrow consistently from the market. At least the last one was 2021. We borrowed 3 billion. It was rated as B plus by Fitch. But the issue is that we haven't managed our debt very well. Unfortunately, we seem to have either overborrowed without putting the necessary measures in place. So in 2020, we were downgraded 11 times by these 3 rating agencies. The last one came in when government decided in December that he was going to suspend the foreign debts and pay interest payment in addition to the domestic. Then the country was actually proclaimed to have defaulted. So for me, what I have done and the research I've done since 2003 to today, I didn't see any part which the rating agencies were actually made a reckless rating because they have consistently, let me repeat the word, consistently. It was only, the last one was in the 2022 where we were even downgraded, but it was not their fault. We have borrowed such a extent that our revenue generation, domestic revenue generation capacity was not enough to service the debt. Ukraine has come in. COVID has done his own job. But we haven't actually managed the debt to the best of our ability. So classifying as a default was no news to some of us because there was a clear evidence that we have overborrowed and we are not able to manage our finances very well to meet the international targets.
Currency analyst and research lead at GCB Capital, Courage Puti, has stated that the performance of the Ghana cedi in the next 6 months will heavily depend on the economic assessment by the IMF in September. The Ghana cedi ended the first half of this year with a better performance than the same period last year. According to Bloomberg, the cedi lost about 11.21% to the US dollar, yet was still classified among African currencies with worse port returns. Speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Puti said meeting the IMF benchmarks will be crucial in helping the cedi.
Looking ahead, we need to implement the program and implement it well with credibility. A first review is impending. If we do the mid-year review and then we suggest to the investor market that we are making progress with the macro reforms and then the structural reforms that we are targeting, if we can successfully pass the first review, which will be done in September, and I believe the investment sometime in November, if we can successfully pass that, it is a good signal to the market that we are on course. And those will be some positives. Of course, we've not heard so much about cocoa board going to market this time round, but it's a likelihood. Yeah, there are positives for the cedi, but then there is still uncertainty in the outlook, which we need to gather.
Moving on, the Office of the Registrar of Companies has extended the deadline for filing of annual returns and renewals up to September 30, 2023. This is to provide some space to allow businesses and organizations file their annual returns and renewals. The following report has more.
According to the Office of the Registrar of Companies, the extension of the deadline is to enable companies and businesses in default to complete the processes for filing their annual returns and renewals, which they invariably could not complete due to the downtimes experienced by the software application system through the period. A statement from the Office of the Registrar of Companies explained. It added that the deadline extension applies to business names, companies limited by shares, companies limited by guarantee, which are churches, schools, non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations, foundations, associations, unions, societies, charities, external companies, partnerships, and professional bodies.
Now, government has been urged to support family businesses to aid in the creation of more jobs in the country. According to the convener for the Africa Family Business Summit, Dr. Dennis Owusu-Oteng, more sensitization program should be held to help Ghanaians understand and acquire more knowledge about the family business schemes. He was speaking at the 2023 edition of the Africa Family Business Summit.
Family businesses, many of which fall within the small and medium enterprises, are the center of growth in developing countries such as Ghana, as they contribute significantly to the growth. According to the PricewaterhouseCoopers, 71% of family businesses reported growth in their latest financial year. Dennis Owusu-Oteng called for African countries to leverage current opportunities.
The education model of Ghana should consider teaching family businesses from the basic schools. Because myself, the family business concept was revealed to me when I was going to do my doctorate studies. I finished MBA, but I never really didn't know the concept of family business until I was going to do my doctorate. That's too late. So a lot of times businesses start on the wrong note. They need to get it from the beginning.
On her part, lead consultant at NACA Legacy and co-founder for the African family firms Chichi Mutendi and treated African countries to address challenges affecting the sustainability of family businesses.
I think there's a lot of opportunities in Africa because we have a lot of problems we're trying to solve. So because we have a lot of problems we're trying to solve, we have to look deep into our communities to see how we can solve those problems through solutions that are services and products, and allowing that to then lead the way in terms of the growth of the continent. As you can see, there are so many opportunities in construction. The continent has still got a long way to get to the international standard of development, and also to set the pace of what development should look like in a sustainable continent, because we have that opportunity to lead the conversation.
Global expert on family business, Professor Martin Rowe, called for succession plan.
I think there is a lot of opportunity for the African family firms, because you have to remember that the family firms also in Africa probably comprises 85 to 90% of the entire economy. It is, first of all, most of the companies. It is probably 2/3, if not 70 to 80% of the jobs. So it's very important that you get the family firms to thrive. The good thing about family firms is that, first of all, they're very competitive, because you got personal family members having a lot at stake to continue the legacy, but at the same time, they also have the urge to pursue, but also to kind of survive for a long time. Many of them have a very long-term vision. So that's going to pay back to society. And as a family firm, you're not only going to look at the local economy or the regional economy, any family firm can go worldwide.
This year's event was under the theme Family Business Governance, a key strategy for continuity. The event gathered top family business experts, thought leaders and professionals to have an in-depth conversation and to provide insight on the topic of governance in the family business landscape.
Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta says Ghana's bond with Turkey is beyond economic relationship, hence the need for Ghana to support Turkey in these challenging times. Turkey on 6th February experienced an earthquake that killed about 50,000 people and left over 100,000 people injured. In a bid to support the country, the government of Ghana has donated 11 20-footer containers of ready-to-eat cocoa products as emergency relief items to Turkey.
6th February 2023, Turkey experienced an earthquake that claimed about 50,000 lives and left over 100,000 people injured. The economic cost is estimated to be over $30 billion. As a long-standing ally, the government of Ghana has donated some relief items to the country. Here's Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta.
Since 1958, we have had a relationship with Turkey, and therefore it's incumbent on us as friends to show a hand, however much, however small it may be. But Turkey itself has demonstrated incredible support, in several ways. and I know our businesses have really increased since the 90s. So in this spirit of partnership and shared prosperity, government and people in Ghana, through collaborative efforts of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Finance and Cocoa Processing Company, acting on the instructions of the President and Cabinet, procured 11 20-foot containers of ready-to-eat cocoa products as emergency relief items for the people of Turkey.
The government of Turkey expressed its appreciation and pledged continued friendship with Ghana. Hussein Gongosh is Turkish ambassador to Ghana.
Just after the earthquake, people and government of Ghana rushed to the help of my people, my country. Through Turkish Airlines here in Accra, we shipped 27 tons of various products to the earthquake region. So we always say Ghana is a very good partner and a true friend. Honestly, after many months after the earthquake.
And that's how we wrap up business tonight. For more business news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business. I am Beverly Broom. Sports is next.